think this used to be some sort of a ceremonial morgue of some kind. One, it's covered in bodies, and two, there's that sort of religious iconography up there again. And deep in here, we have another workshop tool. This poor old hunter here who was tied up and I'm going to assume had his eyes ripped out, among probably other things. Which leads me to go on to believe that this hunter, and the reason why we're finding these workshop tools in the real world, is that they were probably attempted to be stolen by some of these less scrupulous hunters when they were done with the dream, and potentially used to sell them to, say, Menzies person or any other person looking for this arcane, dreamlike knowledge. Now that's the last we need to see of this place.
Well, what is it? Very well, let me... Farewell, good mate.
Alright, now let's go look at the rune workshop tool. Enables etching Carl runes into one's consciousness. Runesmith Carl, student of Bergenworth, transcribed inhuman utterings of the Great Ones into what are now called Carl runes. The hunter who retrieves this workshop tool can etch Carl runes into a mind to attain their wondrous strength. Provost William would have been proud of Carl's runes, as they do not rely upon blood in any measure. Memorize the Carl rune to acquire its eldritch strength. One moment. Now, Carl runes are essentially rings in any Dark or Demon Souls type game, except conceptually they're more magical etchings that are, for lack of a better term, scratched into your brain or your consciousness, and you have to come and use this tool in order to swap them out. Now, this one gives us Communion, Higher Blood Vial Maximum. Formless Odin, higher Quicksilver Bullet Max. Air Rune, Visceral attacks grant more blood echoes. Lake Rune increases defense. Moon Rune acquire more blood echoes. Beast, boost effect of temporary transformation. That's for if you're gonna use things like the Beast Blood pellets and go for high beasthood stat. So we're gonna equip Moon. Going to equip, I'm not sure what, because I hardly ever use these ones in particular. Let's see. I don't know, let's see. I guess that one, though, it's not quite as easy to pull off because you need to kill the enemy with a visceral attack in order for that one to trigger and work. The Moon is just kill anything and you're going to get a higher percentage. Wish I had more Bloodstone shards. Or twins, anyhow. Nope. Well, there's an item I meant to go get, and we'll go take care of that before we advance any further. So let's spend some of these spare echoes. Doesn't hurt. Hmm. I guess more blood vials. Might as well get last quicksilver bullet too. Alright, see if anyone has anything else to say.
Oh, hello. Sorry, dear. You're much too eager. I've only so much blood, okay? Oh, hello. Sorry, dear. I've only so much blood, okay?
You! Stay away from me! I know all your tricks.
Come on, man. There we go. Okay, now, I want to demonstrate. Our insight is increasing, meaning we're starting to see a little more of the world and how actually fucked up it is. Because our mind is broken, as I like to keep reiterating, but yeah, we're seeing things closer to how they truly are, because now we can perceive it. And including that is that those guys' lanterns are covered in eyes, and they can use those to project certain spells. Yeah. Eyes, kind of a big thing in this game. As you notice, the witches of Hemwick were covered in it. Here it is. I forgot to look here. Numbing mist. Throw to create a mist cloud that prevents HP restoration. Throw to create a mist cloud that numbs a hunter's life essence and prevents restoration of HP. Said to be used by blood hunters of Canehurst, its recipe is a secret closely guarded by the line of nobles inhabiting the castle. Let's see. I'm gonna put that on. Maybe that. I don't know how much I'm gonna use it though, but it doesn't hurt. Okay. We're good to go. Now, those are analog to Lloyd's talisman found in Dark Souls, in which you'd throw those at an enemy player in PvP and they would not be able to heal themselves with Estus. Come on. Ooh. Just barely missed me. Yeah, those guys are now more dangerous. Because now we can see. as we go. And now, also, now that we have more insight, we can see there these servants, their crucifixes that have a disturbing red aura about them that's giving us the frenzy. Oh, the elevation kept us from getting hit by that frenzy there. Gotta love that. Oh, yep, not safe there. Let's get that frenzy away. No, don't proc. Thank you. Okay, we're going away from you for a little bit. Until this goes down. I do not have the curative item to stop that, unfortunately. So, give it a few seconds. The higher insight you have, the more dangerous frenzy is on top of it. The perks of high insight, not so great for a hunter, it turns out. Better for scholars looking for crazy knowledge. Put that damn crucifix back up, sir. Nope. Screw you. This is the Grand Cathedral.
And feast upon the old blood. Our thirst for blood satiates us, soothes our fears. Seek the old blood. But beware, the frailty of men. Their wills are weak, minds young. The foul beasts will dangle nectar and lure the meek into the depths. Remain wary of the frailty of men. Their wills are weak, minds young. Were it not for fear, death would go unlamented. Seek the old blood. Let us pray, let us wish to partake in communion. Let us partake in communion and feast upon the old blood. Our thirst for blood satiates us, soothes our fears. Seek the old blood. But beware, the frailty of men. Their wills are weak, minds young. The foul beasts will dangle nectar and lure the meek into the depths. Remain wary of the frailty of men. Their wills are weak, minds young. Were it not for fear, death.
I wanted to be sure we heard her prayer in its entirety. Say hello to Vicar Amelia. I also like to say Vicar, but that's probably the wrong pronunciation. Now a vicar in real life is someone who is representative of a bishop. But I think more in this context, it's some sort of representative of a god that they're worshipping. She is a beast, so we use a serrated weapon for that damage buff. Go for the legs, and you can get a visceral attack into her head once you break them enough. It's got a lot of wide sweeping attacks. Gotta be careful. And you don't want to get hit by those grabs, obviously. You can keep her from healing with one of those numbing mists. God, that went really easily. I was not expecting that. I expected a little bit more of a fight. But, normally I don't use items in these boss fights, but I'm Let's Playing, and I need to be able to have my wits about me just enough to speak while fighting these creatures and whatnot. Now, this skull and this altar was inside the Chalice dungeons in that in the opening CG at the end of it. As I was speaking, it's a mishmash. It's showing you the Chalice dungeons, which are underground. It's showing you this altar, which is in this church, and then your the character is killed by the cleric beast, which you cannot find outside of that battle, and does not have a version in the Chalice dungeons. So it's just a mix of concepts that you'll never see together. And this skull was on that altar as well.
Master Willem, I've come to bid you farewell.
Oh, I know. You think now to betray me.
No, but you will never listen. I tell you, I will not forget our adage.
We are born of the blood, made men by the blood, undone by the blood. Our eyes are yet to open.
Fear the old blood. I must take my leave.
By the gods, fear it, Lawrence.
Now, that was a conversation between two men. One named Provost Willem, and then Lawrence, whose skull now adorns this altar. He did not heed their adage. He did not fear the old blood. Now, we're not going into Hunter's Dream quite yet. We're gonna go back outside first. And take note, it is now night, with a lovely full moon over there. I don't think this is the best place to see it, but the sun has gone down, the moon has come up. It's dark, a little darker, and things start to change a bit. We gained quite a bit of insight. Now, one of those things that's changed, the church giants, they fall asleep. These guys don't. But the giants fall asleep, so all of them in their locations, you can just walk by them without having to engage if you don't want to. Well, if you can get far enough away. Another thing, now that we have over 15 insight, if we were to head down to Charnel Lane again, we, those mad ones, the enemies that were spawning by the Witch of Hemwick boss fight, they'd start being, it starts populating and spawning up from the ground with this red aura, because now that we are sufficiently insightful, we can perceive them a lot better, and then they'll just be in general out there in that area. Another fun fact about that is that when you go into the Witch of Hemwick boss fight, and you always gain one single insight at least, so that you can see the mad ones that they spawn. But if you use a bold hunter's mark and spend all your insight at like the shop or something, or go to a brain sucker and have it get rid of them all, though I wouldn't recommend that method, you can go back into that boss fight with 0 insight, and the mad ones won't spawn, making that boss fight ridiculously easy because you're not dodging all the other enemies that they're spawning in. It's an option, and it's a fun little attention to detail, and that they thought of.
Welcome home, good. What is it you did? Very well, Farewell, may...
Oh, and we're gonna get this special item here now that Vicar Amelia is dead. The Eye of a Blood Drug Hunter beckons hunters to the hunter's nightmare. A deformed creature will whisk you away outside Odin Chapel. Eye of a Blood Drug Hunter. The Eye of a Blood Drug Hunter. Its pupil collapsed and turned into mush, indicating the onset of the Scourge of Beasts. A hunter who goes drunk with blood is said to be taken by the nightmare, destined to wander forever. Engaged in an endless hunt, it is a fate that no hunter can escape. That will be important much later. It's not important right now. We're not going to pursue it quite yet. But rest assured, we eventually will. Or don't rest assured, because it's a nightmare. Anyhow, thanks everyone for tuning in again. This was a little bit shorter of a session, but we got a lot done, and I really want to advance to nighttime, and things are gonna start rolling, and the night is gonna get darker, and it's gonna get more interesting. And once again, thank you. Later.